Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from the outskirts of the internet. It's the Gaming Saloon for March 23rd, 2025, with your hosts, These Bagger 448 and Rump It Up Salon.
Hi.
It is basically the show we will do that is the Eve on Switch 2 Direct. Even though it is still 10 days left until the damn thing. I really hope Nintendo has a good showing. If they do not, I don't know what I would do.
You know, if I was ballsy, I would be one to predict that we're going to get like a shadow drop and Switch 2 is going to be released like within a day or two from the Direct. Because they won't do it same day. I know that much. But I also know that they're not going to do that.
I'm pretty sure I saw a thing that's like, the Switch 2 will come out in May. And I'm like,
I think June.
It has to be at earliest the end of whatever the last date is for their tour that they're doing for the Switch 2, which I forget what is.
I think I saw someone argue that though. Because I'm wanting to say I saw someone argue that and say that actually the Switch didn't wind up following that same pattern. I could be wrong, but I'm wanting to say I saw that. And I'm like, if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, we're kind of blind guess right now.
Yeah, all their North American dates end before April. All of their Europe dates are through like April and May, and then their Asia, Oceania dates are from April to June, with like Hong Kong and Taipei to be determined.
I'm leaning, like if I was gonna put a more definitive date, I'm leaning to back half of June. And I only say that because I feel like back half of June, that's going to give them their mid-year release, which would more than likely be Prime 4. Probably see August or September, see the new Mario Kart, with that November time frame being whatever 3D Mario we're going to get.
Yeah.
That's kind of the big three that I think we're going to see coming out of this. I think they're going to gamble with launching with Prime 4, hoping that it gives the same thing that it did when they launched with Breath of the Wild. And we're going to see a similar layout to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that seems to be Nintendo's mentality with the Switch 2 of, we are just going to give you a more powerful Switch because that is all any of you fuckers have bitched and moaned about for the last like 7, 8 years.
A more powerful Switch that isn't as easily susceptible to jailbreaking.
Yeah.
It'll still be easy to jailbreak, I can almost guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that the first year Switches, for the most part, are easily breakable by a piece of... Well, no, not even by a piece of plastic, by a paper clip. Because you can actually cross the pins with a paper clip. Yeah.
But we will have more to talk about with the Switch 2 later, as if you saw on the pre-show. But first, tell me what you've been playing the last couple weeks.
Truthfully, not really much of anything that we haven't at least done on stream.
Yeah. My last basically month has been exporting videos every night and then checking like the next day and calling out things that either got duped or needed to be called out of the Twitch backlog, and that's finally done now. So I feel like I can actually do anything else that isn't that.
Well, finally half done.
Yeah.
All the scheduling still exists.
Yeah, I still have to like clean up playlists, get everything in order, and then get everything scheduled. Because that's how I'm doing the scheduling, is through playlists, because I am not going to attempt to try to find like all of TGSR Drive by scrolling through the 50 videos at a time to try to find it. No, I'm doing it via playlist. If something gets missed along the way, it will become apparent after a while.
Maybe.
I hope. And then I'll just throw that one out the door and it'll just be out there. Besides that, Zenless Zone Zero update from I think like last week or so. It was nice. I like the Ambi story stuff more than the like main plot, because the main plot was just, hey, we're doing a quick setup, I feel like, to like a second half of this to come in the next update. So I'm like, oh, okay, fine. But yeah, Zenless and Star Rail continue to be, hey, I like doing the update stuff, and then I don't play the game for like a couple weeks until a new update comes out. Which, like, I guess sounds terrible, but I'm like, that's how I enjoy the game. But I guess anything else before we hit our news?
No.
All right, then. First up, a couple of Pokemon news. First and foremost, Pocket TCG is getting another subset. We've gotten a Arceus subset to go with the Diamond and Pearl, basically themed set, and now we are getting a Shiny and Paldea Pokemon set, dubbed Shining Revelry. It'll have Shiny Pokemon, it will have Paldea Pokemon, and that's about it. It comes out in like 5 days, or no, 4 days. Hooray! Any thoughts?
No.
Fair. Secondly, Lego has gotten the Pokemon license, so now they'll be producing building block Pokemon stuff instead of, I think Mega Bloks has been doing it for several years now. Nothing new until like next year, basically. They tease with a Pikachu tail built out of Legos. Hooray. Any thoughts on Lego Pokemans?
No, not really. I mean, it's a thing.
Fair. All right, it's a time for me to be the only one that has an opinion on this until I can articulate this. So, building on the rumors we've had for like a year plus now, Atlas has registered a website dubbed P4RE, pretty much saying, hey, we're doing a Persona 4 remake. They also technically have registered a P5RE website, but Atlas tends to go overboard on registering websites. So the 5RE is probably nothing, I hope. But yeah, we're getting a Persona 4 remake, and I don't know how to feel about that because I have conflicting opinions. Because on the one hand, the game is fairly available in the golden form, and you can basically still get the Persona 4 experience. It doesn't feel like it needs a remake, to be honest. Well, on the other hand, if they do something with it, because 3 Reload did some things with it to like give it a fresh coat of paint and a new feel, and I think some people were happy with it, some people weren't. So maybe, I don't know. The best way I can put this to you is, if, even though their track record is garbage, if 343 were to announce that they were doing a Halo 3 remake, Like that's the best like equivalency I feel like I can give you to for you to be able to get an idea on how this is. So I guess how do you feel from that?
Except for you might have to figure a different meaning for that, because bear in mind we did also kind of wind up with a C remake without the need for one.
Yeah.
I can't really say the same for 2 because that was what opened the door to Master Chief Collection coming PC side.
Right.
But with 1, there was really accessible ways of playing 1.
Yeah.
So I'm like, saying 3 is kind of not the answer, because I see the difference that 1 Anniversary got, so I don't think I fully... 3 could use it.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what 3 could use from a remake would not be necessarily a graphical. It would be a functional.
Yeah. Whereas I think for 4, it's the opposite, where mechanically 4 is perfectly fine. Like, if you're going to remake it, I guess give it a fresh coat of paint and stuff, because it could probably use that. But, like, there's nothing mechanical I feel like that needs to be done to 4, because basically everything 4 did, they carried over to 5, and then they carried over to the 3 remake. So we're just coming full circle at that point. Like, there is nothing new you can add to 4 that didn't start there. So I don't know what they would do mechanically. Like, I feel like you could update the script a bit and tighten up the writing a bit, but you're not touching that, I think, with a 10-foot pole, because people be pissed about that. Like, I think RE4 got away with it with the remake because they basically kept the same structure. They just changed the tone of it, and it worked out. I don't know. I have to see how this goes. But I guess any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then. In some union news, the United Video Game Workers Union is launching in North America. This is in association with... I forget it. It was like a communications union. But it is folks getting together to have collective bargaining power against major publishers, which, you know, might be a good thing, because you know, all the layoffs we've had might be a good time of that. But I guess any thoughts?
No.
All right. From the DigiFest event, finally, because it feels like people have been asking for this forever, including myself, we are finally getting a digital version of the Digimon card game in playable format, in the form of Digimon Elysian. Basically, it's Digimon the card game, but in a video game form, so people can play the Digimon card game. Hooray. No dates or anything, but we did get like a little bit of a look at what it is. It seems to be kind of like building off their Digimon Liberator like comic series in terms of aesthetics and stuff.
You mean they didn't have one?
No, they have not had one since the card game launched like 4 years ago. Like, let me make sure when the Digimon card game launched. Correction, 5 years ago. For 5 years, there's not been a digital way of playing the card game besides point your camera at your desk and play the cards that way over like Discord or something. This is legitimately the first time we're getting this.
That's weird.
I know. I'm like, why did this take so long? I don't understand. And I know someone would be like, well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Took forever. And I'm like, yeah. Also, but they had games, at least when it came out. Granted, those games weren't the correct rules, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, they at least had card games.
Yeah.
Were they accurate to how the actual game was? No, but it was at least card-based games.
Yeah. And most of that was just because it was developed at the same time as the card game, so they didn't have all the rules finalized and all that. But still, here it's just like, yeah, digital card games are a dime a dozen these days, and you're telling me it took you 5 years to get the damn thing out the door? What the fuck? At least it'll come out. Unfortunately, no release date, no other details besides, I believe this is primarily mobile. Yeah, primarily mobile, Android, iOS. But hooray. They did have another trailer for Time Stranger, which is their next story RPG. It still looks nice. I'm very excited for that one. I hope it's really good. But any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then. GOG has added 26 more titles to their preservation program. The titles being Vampire the Masquerade, Tomb Raider Underworld, Tomb Raider Anniversary, Tomb Raider Legend, Alone in the Dark Trilogy 1, 2, and 3, Ultimas 1, 2, and 3, Ultima 4, 5, 6, Ultima 8 Gold Edition, Wing Commander 1 and 2, Deus Ex Game of the Year Edition, Jagged Alliance 2, Fallout 2, Privateer 2 The Reckoning, Port Royal 3 Gold, Alien Breed plus Tower Assault, and Cannon Fodder. They've additionally added Fear Platinum and Silent Hill 4 The Room. So yeah, GOG continues to do really good work of here is old games that we will make sure run forever. No matter what hardware comes out. Any thoughts?
No.
And that is basically all the news. There wasn't that much, to be perfectly honest.
I mean,
so I also skipped.
Everyone is kind of sitting on their hands waiting for this.
Because I also skipped over like the Silent Hill presentation they did on Silent Hill F, because I'm like, wow, that's a whole lot of cutscenes for a game. I wish there was gameplay. Moving on. So last TGS, I believe, we talked about the Switch 2 Direct and gave some general predictions and stuff, but I wanted to formalize that and put numbers attached to them and see how badly I lose, because I keep losing all of these.
And for those wondering what he means by all of these, we've been doing these for Ryder, and yeah.
Tommy is 3-1 against me. I'm bad at these.
What's bad is this was your idea for us to do them. I can't say it was your idea because I mean we know this was someone else's idea.
Yeah, I just took the format and modified accordingly. So here is how it works. We have 3 categories of basically questions. The first batch are yes or no's. They are 1 point apiece. The second batch are counts. If you are on the dot on the value, you get 3 points. If you are off in either direction by 1, you get 2 points. If you're off the direction by 2, you get 1 point. If you're off in either direction by 3, you get no points. Every point past that in either direction counts against you. So don't fuck up. And lastly, full predictions, which are just us, in this case, throwing out our wildcard picks for what will show up at the Switch 2 Direct. Those are 10 points. So we have a possible pointage of 37 across the board. So first up on our, will it appear at the directs? These first three are basically because of rumors that have persisted for the Switch 2 for an eternity.
Yeah.
So first and foremost,
funnily enough, I still said no on one of these three.
it's probably the one that is most likely to not appear because of other material that we know. Which, by the way, if you're wondering, why is there no Prime 4 or Mario Kart 9 there? Those would be too easy. You don't get points for that one. So first
I mean, we could. Both of us put yes, and then somehow get screwed out of points on that.
God, they teased their last main direct show ended with Prime 4. Their Switch 2 teaser has Mario Kart 9. Neither one appeared at Switch 2 Direct.
That would be hilarious if they pulled that off.
That would be insanity. But first up, will a 3D Martin game show up at the Direct?
Yep. With a release date by the end of the year.
Same. That is a within the launch year release. I don't know what form it's going to take. Like, they won't do an Odyssey 2 because that's not their style.
They can't. Voice would be different now, so they really can't do that. It would have to be different, and that sounds weird to say that, but the way they handled Wonder and the way that was such a stark departure from all other 2D aspects for Mario, I kind of feel like they would treat this the same way.
Mm-hmm. Some part of me thinks it will pull from the Mario movie in some respect and for inspiration, but otherwise I've got nothing.
Maybe, but I doubt it.
Mm-hmm. Secondly, will a new Smash Brothers be at the Direct?
I'm saying yes because I have seen rumors that he's at least working on something. That could also mean Kirby.
It's not rumors that he's working on something. It's been confirmed. He said himself he's been working on something for several years now, because that was the end of his YouTube series. Was like, yeah, by the way, this has been like pre-recorded for like a year plus now, and I've been busy working on a game since then.
Yeah, but it's been rumors that it's Smash.
Yeah.
It could be Kirby.
It could be.
It's probably Smash. It's probably Smash.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say yes, it will be Smash. What form that new Smash takes, I don't know, because they've talked about it. The roster will never be that big again and be that extensive. Like, the roster is going down after Smash Ultimate.
They claim.
Yes. At the very least, you do not expect like Snake and Sora and a bunch of those other third-party people to be back unless, you know, they're tied to Namco Bandai, because Namco Bandai is developing it again, most likely.
But instead, be looking for like Doom Guy and Master Chief.
God, to do a Smash Brothers teaser and end it with the fucking energy sword lighting up, I'd probably scream. Because I'd be like, holy shit!
That or hear crashes spinning. Like, either of those would be enough to break the internet in half.
I would cry if it was Clank's laugh. Like, if you tell me Ratchet and Clank get to be in a fucking Smash Bros. Game, I will cry on stream.
Crash or Spyro would be first.
I'm sure.
Then it would be the question of which other one.
I would say Ratchet and Clank, because they're the only ones that have lived past that point. They're the only ones still relevant today. I say that knowing Rift Apart did not meet sales expectations, which makes me cry for different reasons.
But of course, I mean, most of the Kingdom Hearts community thinks that 3 is kind of meh, so, and Sora still got in, so there is hope.
I was reminded of me going through all of 3 on stream because and then through the export. That was like the one nice part of doing all the exports was reminding myself of the shit we've done in the last like 7-8 years. Because I got reminded of the one time we played a MOBA that was on the Switch. Because I was like, wait, what the fuck is this game? And then I looked at the video of it and I'm like, oh, yeah, that one time we did the Switch MOBA for like one stream and then never again.
What game was that?
Oh, you had to ask me. No, I don't remember. Arena of Valor.
Oh, that one. Yeah. God, that game's forgettable.
Yeah, it kind of was.
I'm not gonna lie, because when you download it once on a Switch, it is there unless you fully delete it.
Mm-hmm.
I have looked at that repeatedly and was like, what game was that?
The MOBA we did one stream of and then never again.
I swear,
right,
the Switch has good games, but then it has shovelware.
Shovelware for fucking days. But mainly because it's all the mobile devs putting their stuff on the Switch.
Yeah.
Anywho, third question. Will the Prime trilogy in some capacity show up at the Direct?
Nope. The only way that okay, I'm gonna say this just for a simple fact of I do plan on getting the Switch 2 anyhow. If they say that the Prime trilogy is there, I don't care what our points are gonna wind up being. I will immediately pre-order one at that point. And if they shadow drop it as a release for the Switch, then yeah, I'll go ahead and buy it right then and there. I don't think it's going to happen. I think at best we're going to see 2 getting announced.
Probably. I
mainly say that because 3 has all the motion controls. Yes, all of this would have been cooking for a while. I don't think it's there.
I feel like Prime 4 will take precedent. So I don't think any other Prime was going to show up at the Direct.
The only way that I could think that it won't is if they've been holding it back intentionally to do it as releasing Prime Trilogy during the Switch 2's Direct to then get everyone hyped for Prime 4 come June or July whenever it releases, because I can't foresee it being beyond July.
Yeah.
If it's beyond July, then that means it's gonna be November for the release for the Switch 2. Like that is it right there. But I also don't think they're gonna wait most of the year to release the console.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
all right.
There's stipulations for maybe a Prime trilogy, but ultimately I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah. All right, number 4, a new Donkey Kong in some capacity.
I feel like yes. I feel like the Switch probably has kind of opened Nintendo's eyes a little bit to the fact that there are still people that want Donkey Kong games. I also know that Nintendo has a bad habit of not paying attention to that. just looking at, Metroid, Star Fox, F-Zero.
Basically, everyone that isn't one of their normal rotators.
Yeah. But I do. I almost feel like they'll try to make that up kind of deal. Especially since we're going to have Prime 4. That's going to be the big thing that everyone's tuning in for. It would be the perfect time to throw Donkey Kong in there and just see what kind of hype comes out of it.
I feel like, yes, it will. I feel like it comes because of two major things. First, there is all the push for the Donkey Kong parks at Universal and all that. So, like, Donkey Kong is there for the mainstream folks. And secondly, they bothered to go with the updated design for Donkey Kong in Mario Kart 9 teaser, and I feel that's on purpose.
See, that's the other thing that kind of makes me think that too, because I didn't catch it myself, but I've heard that a lot, and I'm like, okay, if that's the case, they're gonna do that. That's not just gonna be something that's gonna come out in Mario Kart 9.
Yeah.
Here's the question that comes from that, though. Could this potentially be the first time that we see a new Nintendo console launch with 2 first-party titles? Because could this be a case of they feel like the Switch 2 can't sustain itself just off of one or the other, and it needs both to actually drive sales?
Possibly because it's not a Mario and not a Zelda.
To me, it even felt like Breath of the Wild was a gamble, though.
Well, Breath of the Wild was a brand new point for Zelda, so they wanted to hedge their bets there too.
But they didn't have a second first party come out with it. They trusted it enough.
Yeah.
1-2 Switch was the other launch title. And that was not selling consoles, I can tell you that much. That's one of those, I'm like, they've proven they can do a good console with gambling that first game. Are they willing to double down with that? Especially since the Switch 2 can play Switch 1 games? Or are they gonna try to drive it home and hope for the best right out the gate? Because that almost feels like if we see a new Donkey Kong, they're gonna want to try to release it early. Because they're gonna want it out before Mario Kart, before the 3D Mario. When it can start getting overshadowed. They're gonna want that out now, kind of deal. And I
guess the other part.
I guess at that aspect, me saying that, it could also even be a shadow drop. It could run on the Switch. Because I would have to think that they'd do a 2D, they wouldn't try to do a 3D. Donkey Kong's been more successful with the 2D scene. That would, and I'm saying this completely as a joke because there's record for this, but that would be like having a Star Fox game with no R-Wing.
What are you talking about? You played the R-Wing at the start of that game.
And for like 5 seconds between worlds. For those not sure, we're talking about adventures. Assault actually lets you use the R-Wing.
A little too, not enough, I felt like, with Assault.
About on point with Zero, though.
Yeah. Granted, Zero was still primarily vehicle combat, whereas Assault was like, what if we were generic third-person shooter?
I would rather have the out of R-Wings sequences than have the walker, just saying.
Oh, I figured you would say the, oh fuck, what's the VTOL one?
No. No, that one just needs to be Control-Alt-Deleted.
You didn't like your puzzle segments? Your puzzle stealth segments, mind you?
In a Star Fox game.
Stealth
And
segments and a non-stealth.
and I wonder why that one didn't do as good. Could be any reason.
Stealth segments in a non-stealth game. No one likes them.
Forced
Why do we keep
stealth segments in a non-stealth game?
Yes. Why do we keep doing them? Stop it. But yeah, my other question would be, what form does this Donkey Kong take? And so part of me is like,
I think 2D.
I would assume so.
It's gonna have to take that because that's the only thing that Donkey Kong succeeded in.
Yeah, but like, would it be explicitly a country, or would it be something to try to be a successor to country? Because there are other 2D Donkey Kongs. Unfortunately, they're all bongo controlled.
It would be another in the country line.
Yeah.
And I only say that because of the fact of that seems to be the bread and butter. Yeah, they'll experiment with Donkey Kong like they will others, but at the end of the day, if they're wanting a game to sell, it's going to be part of the country series.
All right, next up, non-Legends Pokemon game.
Nerp.
Now, I will clarify this. Champions doesn't count because that was at the presentation. I'm basically saying it has to have not been at the recent Pokemon Presents in order to count. So none of the mobile games, no Champions, no Legends ZA. It has to be a brand new to us Pokemon game.
I don't even think we'll see ZA at it. I really don't.
I could see a reminder about it, but I don't see it any more than that.
I think at best, if we see ZA anywhere in there, it's going to be in like a quick reel of everything coming out for the year. And it's going to be their throwaway titles that are alongside it.
Yeah, it'll be in one of those headline segments of like, hey, Pokemon ZA, we showed this at the Pokemon Presents. It comes out later this year. All right, next up, port of a Wii U or 3DS title.
You know, I said no. No, I don't think they would do it. I was gonna say the only thing that I could see me wavering on that is if they did do something extremely out of character for them and tried to do a port of Star Fox Zero. Because unfortunately that would tick 2 of the boxes if they did that. But I'm like, I don't think they would. I think would be closer to, as far as Star Fox wise, I think would be closer to seeing a port of Star Fox 64 3D. As weird as that is, I feel like we'd be closer to seeing that.
I feel like we would get Star Fox Reboot the third again. It would just be another new Star Fox because they would just scrap everything, start again. Here is 64 for the fourth time. Would it be the fourth time? Because Star Fox 64 is basically original Star Fox.
Yeah.
The 3DS version of Star Fox.
Yeah.
Then Zero is basically Star Fox 64 in concept.
No, it's a reimagining.
It is a goddamn reboot. Anyone who says otherwise can shut the fuck up. It is basically a reboot of the franchise.
No, it's not. They even said it wasn't.
It literally is Star Fox 64's plot again. Again.
Down to the T. But it's not a reboot. It's a reimagining.
Fucking Artsy Omni on Twitter when that got announced asked the question, is it a reboot? And I'm saying, no, it's a reboot. And he was like, no, they said it was a reimagining. I'm like, no, motherfucker, this is a goddamn reboot. This is literally Star Fox 64 all over again because they've realized that the only Star Fox that people will buy is 64. So they have to find new ways of dressing up 64. But yeah, I'm gonna say no just because so much of the recent lineup has been exactly that. It has been ports, not even just of Wii U 3DS titles, it's been ports of other stuff to basically fill time until this exact moment. So I don't think it's happening.
I do want to throw this out there. We do have to throw two exceptions to that. The two Zelda remakes that are on the Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
As heavy as they used the gamepad, we're gonna have to if either of those get announced, we're gonna have to find out what all the changes are before we can fully say if that was a port or if that was a remake of its own.
Yeah.
I know with Wind Waker, it would almost be impossible to bring that straight over, so I don't think that can be a port. Twilight Princess could, though.
Also, Chronicles X does not count. That game will be out by the time the Direct airs. So no, it doesn't count, even if they do mention it. You don't... The game literally will be out and playable before this Direct happens. It is currently out and playable before this Direct happens. No, it doesn't get counted, even though Nintendo will remind you Xenoblade Chronicles X is out.
Will they? Will they really?
Yes, because Molotov makes them how much money between their support studio and their studio? They get a reminder. Anywho, number 6, revival of an old franchise, F-Zero, Kid Icarus, etc., etc., etc. The pick your favorite there, basically.
I think F-Zero and or Star Fox. We're gonna see something. Now, I say that knowing that they could try to give Star Fox the 99 treatment.
I'd be on board for that.
I would too, if that meant we could actually get something out of it.
Yeah.
And I only say that because, you know, they have seen so much success out of doing all the other 99-esque ones. And I have to say it that way because, you know, Super Mario 35 kind of breaks that. But, I feel like yes, just because of that potential. I think if anything, we'd probably more likely see an F-Zero game proper.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of F-Zero 99. I don't know though.
I'm gonna say yes, and I am willing to bet it is something people will probably not see coming. Like it will be something. It will be like the deepest of deep cuts.
I don't know, because if they go too deep with it, they're not gonna sell.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of thinking maybe something F-Zero wise might be the safe bet on theirs.
Yeah. I just feel like it's not going to be the obvious pick because we will be cursed to not have it. It will be something else.
Pretty much. I mean, that is kind of why Prime Trilogy still wound up in this.
Yeah. Like, it would be like a fucking Wario game. Not a WarioWare game, mind you. No.
A proper Wario game.
Yes, it will be like a proper ass Wario fucking game. It'll be something like that.
Would that, though, be a revival kind of deal, though?
When was the last time we had a proper Wario game?
But, I mean, we have had the WarioWare games.
Right.
That's why I'm like, would that really be, though?
Yes, because we haven't had that style of game in forever.
So we're going that loose with it, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel more comfortable with the yes than if we're going that loose with it.
If it is something in a series that we have not had something forever in, then I will count it. Also, for reference, the last Wario game was 2008 on the Wii. Technically, it got put out on the Wii U in 2016. Like, I mentioned that because, like, you know, Pizza Tower and all that are basically Wario games in design. And lastly, a new IP.
Only reason I say no here is because I don't know if this would be the time or the place for it. Do they possibly have a new IP in the works? Yes. Do I think this is the time or the place for them to try to debut something like that? No. I think Switch 2 reveals probably the one for them to hammer down on the stuff that everyone knows from them. And that will probably get another direct maybe the month that the Switch releases. And that's where we'll see something like that.
Part of me is trying to remember when ARMS got announced and released.
I know it was early in its cycle, but I'm wanting to say we didn't get it on the Switch's announcement direct. I think we got it on the direct right before the Switch released. I'm wanting to say. I could be wrong on that.
It was announced in a direct in 2017 and released on June
of the same year. Then yeah, that's exactly what happened. It got announced at that January direct and then was released that year. Because that's what I was thinking had happened.
I'm going to be different. I'm going to say yes, and I will put the extra bet that's worth nothing that it will be whatever that network test was. I think it will be that.
I don't know on that one.
I am willing to bet the point that I'm like, it will be that network test. I believe in that. All right. I guess to counting questions. So, what is the release month of the Switch 2?
I still, much like I said earlier, I think the end of June. I could maybe be okay with me being wrong and it being like the beginning of July, but I feel like it's going to be somewhere in those 2 months.
I'm going to say July for difference sake, and take that point differential when it ends up being June. Price of the Switch.
I'm wanting to say I remember hearing rumors of the 400 mark, and I would be fine with that.
I think we're still in the $400 range, even with all the tariff bullshit we're going through at the current moment. So we should be fine at the 400 mark. At worst, it will probably be 450.
And that's one of those, I'm fine with either of those numbers, to be fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, number of first-party games to be announced to come out this year is the basis of this question. It doesn't matter if it gets announced after this direct. It has to be announced at this direct, and it has to say it comes out this year. It doesn't matter if it gets delayed or not, because I'm only tracking this within the length of the direct too.
I'm thinking we know Prime 4. We know Mario Kart. More than likely the 3D Mario. And I kind of am winging it and saying one more just because I'm like, maybe there's one more big one that we know there.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a fourth one, that's gonna come down to, is it Smash or is it our surprise revival? Is where I'm kind of leaning with that fourth one. I almost don't think we. I'm on the fence on Donkey Kong. I think that could be the other one to sway that, but I'm kind of leaning towards it's that.
I'm gonna say 5, because I think Monolith Soft's title is gonna get out the door by the end of the year. Spoilers, one of my full predictions that you can see on screen. But I feel like they have something cooking in the back, and they are going to get it out the door like around winter, because 2 came out winter from like when it was announced, so I believe. All right, next up, number of Xbox or PlayStation games that'll be announced to come out this year.
We've done decided that Game Pass counts as 1.
If they say Game Pass in general, it's 1 point. I am not counting all the things that get to be on Game Pass for this, because fuck that. I'm not doing that math.
I think if anything, we're going to hear Game Pass is coming to it. If we hear it that way, then we'll also probably hear and select Sony titles will be coming throughout the year as well, kind of deal.
Yeah.
I don't foresee us, truthfully, I don't even foresee us hearing about Game Pass. I don't think this would be the time or the place for it. I think this would be Nintendo focusing in on everything and going ham with it. But the one's there as a safety.
I'm going to go with you and say 1, and it will probably be somewhere in the headline segments. They'll mention it real quick that it's like, hey, this is going to come to Switch 2 like later this year. And that'll be the short and long of any presence by Microsoft or Sony. Because bear in mind, when I say Xbox and PlayStation, it has to be something first party from them. Sony is less likely in this because, again, this is a bit of a joke question because of the state of the industry. Microsoft absolutely will probably put something on the Switch too. Since,
if it's not Game Pass, because, you know, the Switch is an Xbox.
All right, time for full predictions. These are our wild card picks. They can be anything we want them to be that would show up at the Switch 2 Direct.
I so wanted to put something in there about Star Fox, but no. That would be unfair.
we Star Fox fans just have to hope and pray one day they get to come back.
I want to have the goof in there of them saying that Prime 4 is not going to release at launch. Because I get the weird feeling that that's going to happen. But yeah, Switch 2 is supposed to be more powerful. I think we're going to have something akin to the virtual console stuff we've got right now for GameCube stuff. My other one is basically anything pertaining to any of the first party characters that is a puzzle-esque game. So Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the Mario Picross stuff, any kind of weird offshoot thing like that kind of deal.
Well, my first one is that Microsoft is going to show off their new game, whatever that is. Whether that is apparently a remake of Xenosaga, or it's whatever comes after Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Whatever it is, they will show it off. And it will probably be out by the end of the year, I'm willing to bet. Because Microsoft has been cooking for a while. And my second one, well, it would bite me in the ass. I know it. I know it. But I'm willing to dare them. New Zelda spinoff. Not a mainline Zelda, not a new 3D Zelda, not a new 2D Zelda. No, Zelda spinoff of some kind. Specifically Hyrule Warriors 2, because goddammit, I need a new Hyrule Warriors, or just a new Nintendo Muso game in some fucking capacity. God damn it.
We got Hyrule Warriors 2 though.
Not Hyrule Warriors Breath of the Wild 2. No.
But that was Hyrule Warriors 2.
I know. Which I still like, mind you, even though some people are like, oh, it's not got all everybody in it. I'm like, but yeah, but it's still pretty good.
The problem I have more with it is the fact that we had to shoehorn it in.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it have been a continuation from the story we had from Hyrule Warriors 1? Especially when we already had that re-released on the Switch before Age of Calamity came out. Like, there was no reason for that.
You could have just threw the original Hyrule Warriors characters in there and be like, oh, we're part of the reason why the timeline diverged. Oops. Guess we're rolling with things now. Because wouldn't it be fun if Lana just showed up in that game and oops, caused the timeline to diverge?
It would at least do more for it.
Yeah. And the bad guy of that game is some time dimension hopping asshole, which is why he has no mention in Breath of the Wild, really. Because he's technically not from around here. Anywho. Yeah, it will bite me in the ass, but I don't care. I will make the bet. I almost want to say Nintendo Muso, but I don't know if I feel that daring.
You know what would be immensely funny? If both of our second full predictions actually were the same game.
What, some sort of weird puzzle Zelda title?
Uh-huh.
What would it even be?
I have no idea, but that would be immensely funny.
That's part of what, like Echoes of Wisdom kind of is, except not quite.
You know what, though? They'll never do it. And I'm fully willing to admit they'll never do it. But what about a Zelda Dungeon Maker?
Hasn't that been something people have wanted forever, is Zelda Maker, and since basically Mario Maker came out?
Uh-huh.
Didn't they technically give us that as a side thing in the DX remake.
That I don't know. I didn't play the.
Yeah, that's actually what was in there. Was they made a dungeon maker in the DX remake. It's like incredibly on the side and it's kind of connected to the amiibo, but it's in there. So they kind of did it, but it wasn't a full game.
That would be funny if they did that.
I'm also, maybe because I've been watching videos about it recently, I don't have a prediction for this, but I would kind of want a new Fire Emblem. But I would also be like, hey, can we like put it more in line of Three Houses than Engage? Because Engage wasn't particularly that good. And Three Houses was actually really good. Just throwing that out there. Even though I've heard forever that they were experiencing making it like a genealogy of the Holy War remake. But we've seen high nor hair of that forever. But yeah, that is our predictions. 37 points on the line. I will be sure to like capture these somehow when I do live reactions to the direct so people can see in real time how things are going for the two of us.
And see how bad we screw this up.
Yeah, because I'm fully expecting to take the L again because I'm bad at these. I think I follow my heart too much.
I'm fully expecting us both to be off, and neither one of us be anywhere close to 0.
Mm-hmm. All right, that is all we've got for news and predictions this week. So we've got releases.
Yay.
We'll kick off on the 25th with Goat Simulator Remastered for PlayStation 5. And then, oh, good lord, I can't believe, why is the 27th have like 1,001 fucking things?
Because we got to get everything released on the Switch before the Switch isn't the Switch anymore.
Yeah. On the 27th, Atom Fall for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4 and 5. Hitman World of Assassination VR for PlayStation 5. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. That is the highlights. We got 28th. Nobuna's Mission and Lord of Darkness, along with Romance of the Three Kingdoms for Wall of Fire coming to the Switch emulator on, or the Super Nintendo emulator on Switch Online. Uncharted Waters New Horizon is also going to be put on that as well. So the 31st, Croc Legend of the Gobos Remastered for Xbox One Series X, PlayStation 4, 5, and Switch. Football Manager 25 for Series X, PlayStation 5, Android, and iOS, and Football Manager 25 Touch for the Switch.
Because it just needs that special touch.
Yep. TCG Card Shop Manager for MetaQuest. On the 4th, is this game trying to kill me for Xbox One Series X and Switch? And that is basically it. There is not a whole lot here, folks, unless you are looking for some shovelware sounding shit. But yeah, that is basically it. Anything else?
No.
All right, then. Thursday, I'm continuing CAD as we chip away at the Blade Chemi. Friday is a thing.
I'm almost leaning towards KH2.
Saturday is the run back on Ratchet and Clank and see how well we've improved when we have practice time for one of us at least. Me, that's the one who needs practice time.
I might try to do another run through of it, but yeah.
But yeah, that's Sunday is our last of Drive as we cover the last two V cinemas. And on the YouTube, gonna be kind of standardized now, but all of our streams for a week will come out on Monday at 9, 12, 3, and 6 in order from the day they get streamed. So as an example for the Switch 2 Direct, that will probably go out at 9 with whatever I did like that last Thursday. Unless I decide to just throw it up like the next day. I might do that, or I might just export it out and make sure it goes live that day, the day of, since it's on like, I think a Wednesday? Yeah, it's on a Wednesday. I might have it up on the YouTube like the day of for number purposes. But this next week, because I'll sit down and schedule it tomorrow, all of our TGSR drives should probably be out by the end of the week. I think they're numbered down enough that they should be all out before next Sunday. So if you want to catch up on us talking about Drive, they'll all be up on the YouTube over the course of this week. But yeah, if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Exclamation Point YouTube will give you the YouTube link where all that stuff I was talking about will be. Exclamation Point Social and chat gives you the handles for all of our social medias. And Exclamation Point Discord and chat gives us a link. Drop by, say hi. And we'll see you tomorrow, folks.